Snappy Tomato Pizza Monday night. Time for Skyhawk Talk, the radio show here. And Frank and the gang invite you to come in this evening or anytime. Coach Jason Simpson joins us. The UT Martin Skyhawks coming off a 45-17 win over Murray. And the coach, your success over Murray State continues. Congratulations on the win.
Well, thanks. Very, very excited. Any wins, is big for us. And I was just, as I said after the game, very, very pleased with that win in particular. Not just because it was Murray State, but because in our previous wins, right, we'd had the lead early in the game. And, that's a little bit different to play through that.
Yeah.
And this was a game we were down 14 points and scored 17 unanswered points, and then they tied it. So at halftime, it's a new game. And then we were able to come back out in the third quarter and take control of the game. And, to be able to keep our offense out on the field, to get the short fields from our defense, and, just really – as you and I talked about, put it on the offensive line and the running backs and, run the football and just make a few throws. And so it was good. It was very rewarding, satisfying for the players as well as the coaches.
You had said in the pregame that it just went ugly. We just got to get a win. And after that first quarter, I said, it's going to be an ugly
It's going to be ugly.
But you know what? And maybe I'm wrong. I thought the second, third, and fourth quarters are the best three quarters maybe we put together this season consecutively.
I think so. It's team football, Still made some mistakes. We only ended up in +1 in the turnover margin. We muffed a punt, and that was unfortunate. When we allowed, the defense only gave up 10 points. The offense gave 1. And in Dillon's defense, that was a bad pitch, but I don't need to put him in that spot. There's, about 50 other plays I could have called that would have been a little bit safer. But he is very good at that. He's very good at the option, does a good job at it. And so we've got to take care of the ball a little bit better. But, Jared played well. And Jared Neal did, and so he continued to get all the snaps the rest of the game and gave us a chance to win. I was real proud of it.
Let's talk about Favre a little bit, too, Coach. Coming back from the injury,
right,
I was even surprised that he would be ready to play.
Well, he had a good week of practice, but you're still unknowns, because he hadn't taken a hit in a month.
Yeah.
He was set out for 3 weeks, and then I guess the first time he carried the football, he got smacked pretty hard and actually knocked his contact out.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah, his gain of, I think, 9 or 10 or 11 yards. It was a good run on his part, but he came to the sideline. And
you gave it pretty good hard if your contact
knocked his contact out. So Jared went back in, but then I wanted Dylan back in the game. Because we had a little package for him, some stuff we were doing out of empty backfield that we thought gave us an opportunity. So I wasn't disappointed in him. He understood Jared played well. It was his turn to lead us to the victory, and but they'll both be ready to go this week.
Don't have time to go through play by play, but as you said, Coach, you got down 14-0 at the end of the first quarter, and then you tacked 17 points on in the second quarter and took control of the game, I thought, there.
Well, we did some things to where, and I don't know if you noticed that you'd had to because you just see offensive line. We actually played with 6 offensive linemen most of the game. And we put Big Charles Sweden as our gave us a 3-man surface over there as a tight end, and which makes him not eligible to catch a pass, because of the number exception. But we said, hey, we're going to run it over here. We're going to run it, mixing just enough passes in when they would go man coverage. And Jared found the guys, and Chris Thompson and Butler and a few of the guys. Dylan made some plays for him, and so it was good. It really was. It was fun to watch.
Looking at Murray, they just look like a bigger, stronger, more athletic team than they've been in the past.
That's personnel-wise, especially on defense. They've done a good job going out and get some transfers and some junior college players. Some of the younger players have grown up. No, by far that was my I guess 8th time to go against them. That's the best defense they had, and I'm not so sure the score is a great indication of of how they played. We added on the 2 late to get some short fields, and that happens sometimes. But we felt confident going into the game that if we played well, we would be okay, and we did that.
Jeremy Butler with some fantastic catches in that game.
Yeah, he did. We got to work on catching the punts.
Yeah.
The vertical ball that he catches in traffic. I mean, that's we know. Do not overthrow Jeremy. Let him go up and try to make a play, and he did, and that was outstanding. What did he end up with, like 9, 10? He's leading the league in catches. No, he's behind Laurie from EIU.
9 catches for 133 yards, and I kind of thought, I don't know if you built this up, but the Murray receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, if you compare their stats head to head.
Right. Well, give credit to our defense, our defensive staff and our defensive players, because if you look most of the night, I mean, we doubled Powell.
Yeah.
And that's why we gave up a couple runs now, because there's one less support player down in that box. And, so they're back. It was, catch-22, right? You let single coverage on Powell, or you let them have some runs until we can rally and get to the football. And that happened a couple times. But, no, we took him out of the game, and that was good. And they didn't have any place to go. I was, some people said, man, my goodness, the guy had all day to throw. Well, we were only rushing 3.
Right.
And there's no place to go with the football, and the quarterback,
and even with all that time, he didn't have any options.
He didn't, and wasn't able. He's not fast enough, like most quarterbacks are not.
He's so big.
Yeah, exactly. And so, he wanted to step up in the pocket and go north and south, to where we were forcing him to go east and west, and that's basically one of the reasons Tony Bell. He had 4.5 sacks, but a lot of it was because people were covered, and the quarterback had to come out of the pocket, and he's looking, because there's really no pressure, and then Tony would come off of his coverage and then force a tackle for loss and get credit for a sack. So, great plan, and our kids executed.
Tony Bell, as you said, gets National Linebacker Performer of the Week honors. 4.5 sacks and 16 tackles in the game.
Yeah, statistically, like we were kidding him and kidding with our coaches. It was a very quiet 4.5 sacks, except for the big one he flipped the quarterback on, his head. Mm-hmm. But that's one, as you know, that he was not rushing. He was not blitzing. He was not lined up as a defense in rushing. It was great coverage. It was a great push from our defensive line, eat up blocks, and Tony did a nice job, came out of his coverage when the quarterback looked like he might take off and run, and Tony's fast enough to be able to get there and close the gap and get the credit with a sack.
As you said a moment ago, and you said in the postgame that you're just really proud of the team and that they laid it all out there. And what exactly did you mean by that?
We were very physical last week in practice. I mean, I knew, the coaches knew, and the players, we tried to make this evident to them, is that, it was a much improved Murray team. I mean, they had a lot to play for. I could see it on tape that we were going to have to out-physical them and turn it into a fist fight, who can be the most physical win the game. And so we were very demanding when we asked our players last week, because you had to get those fits, and especially our offensive line, and we did that. So and to overcome, obviously you didn't want to get down 14-0, and be able to dig yourself out of a hole. But that's the first time that I've seen us down this year that we didn't panic. That the psyche of the football team was mature as a head coach that you're looking for, and we battled back. And as soon as we got that first score, you could just feel the difference in the energy on the sideline and the look in the kids' faces. And so that's what I was most proud of.
That's a quality. I don't know how you coach. I guess you just toughen up your kids where when you are down.
It's a process, and if you have a each team, each week is different. Each play has its own history. Each game has its own history and story to tell. And as a football team, you've got to just play each play like it's its own separate game. And then close the page on that one and go to the next page. And I thought we did that really well.
The best analogy of that is obviously in golf, I think.
Because, the next shot.
Yeah, because you can hit a bad shot and then your game go downhill. Yeah. You could be on the second or third hole. But honestly, in every single sport, all sports, mistakes are going to happen.
Right.
And your ability to recover and recover quickly is key.
And I think also, Murray not being as high-powered as they were last year with their, experienced quarterback like we had. I think our players also knew that, hey, this game's not going to be in the 50s.
Right.
Yeah, let's just settle back down here. I think the defense knew that, hey, our offense, just gave up 7. They hadn't scored on us. Let's keep hold up our end of the bargain too. Let's get the ball back for the offense. But I really think the key to the football game was the first touchdown we got to get it back to 14-7, and then I think we got the short field on the punt. We were able to get a score, then we got it back, and then we were able to kick a field goal. So, that was very rewarding.
And the fans were loving it too, Coach. I thought it was
good
nice.
Crowd. Yeah, very proud of that. And so we're kind of. That's kind of the norm. People are getting used to us beating Murray, and and I've kind of got that about the Memphis, I'm trying to make sure people understand it's a different type scenario, but I don't know if they do.
Almost 5,000 in attendance at Graham Stadium. We'll come back. We'll talk about what happened in the OVC Saturday and look ahead to the Memphis game with Coach Jason Simpson on the UT Martin Skyhawk Sports Network. Back with Coach Jason Simpson on Skyhawk Talk here from Snappy Tomato Pizza. Coach Kevin McMillan will join us in a few minutes, and Coach Jason James will be on the program with us also later tonight. Coach, I'm going to run through the OVC scores from this past weekend, and Southeast Missouri beats Urbana 37-35.
How about that? Close game.
Yeah. Jacksonville State over Austin P 42-10. Two games I want to ask you about was we've seen Tennessee Tech. We'll see Eastern Illinois later. 56 points for them, 56-21 at Eastern over Tennessee Tech.
I mean, I don't guess that surprises me. I mean, Eastern scoring that many every week,
yeah.
And 50 is kind of the norm. And Tennessee Tech, I think, was 0-7 in the league now. Mm-hmm. So that didn't surprise me.
Now, the one that did surprise me was Eastern Kentucky beating Tennessee State 44-0.
Yeah, that's statistically it is. Or when you see the score, now when you go back and look at the stats, EKU had only had 300 yards total offense, and that usually does not equal out to 44 points. But I think I read the stats where Tennessee State had six fumbles, lost 4, and EKU threw 3 touchdowns. So, it's kind of you get the short field, you're not sustaining drive, but you're hitting a long pass or a 30-yard pass as you got it in the red zone. And obviously, if you look what EKU's giving up rushing, which is like 99 yards a game. So that's a good formula.
You knew there had to be a reason to be misleading because Tennessee State is solid enough defensively not to give up 44
Well,
points.
No question. Even getting those short fields, that's a credit to Eastern Kentucky not to or to get those points because they didn't have to settle for field goals and they got touchdowns.
Now, Coach, this shuffles the conference standings around a little bit now with Eastern Illinois undefeated at 5-0, Eastern Kentucky's 4-1. And then you've got Tennessee State and UT Martin at 4-2, also with 2 losses. Jacksonville State and Murray State is really tight there in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, like always. Who's the EKU got this week?
EKU will play Jacksonville.
Okay, so that's a good
that'll
one.
Separate.
Going into next week, you could have EKU at 4-2, Jacksonville State at 4-2, and Murray's got EAU this week. So that'll probably be one team at the top and 1, 2, 3. I guess 4 of us tied at 4-2. And, with 2 weeks left in the season. So still can shake out a lot of different ways. EIU, I guess, has got 3 more conference games, 3 weeks in a row. Somebody's got to knock them off. It'd be nice if we could be the one to do that the last game and see what happens from there.
Well, that's what is exciting. The 2 teams ahead of us in the conference standings, we play.
Yeah. You control your own destiny. And of course, they're 2 of the best teams in the league. Obviously, at least one of them is for sure, and EKU statistically says they are as well. So, but that's how it goes. I mean, you got one of them at home, so that's all you can ask for.
I think though, I think it's good to play the best teams in the league toward the end of the season because then you're the best you can be, barring injuries, and then you can prepare because you can see more of their games.
Unless you want to beat them early,
right?
So, but no, that's the best thing you could ask for is for us to go on the road and beat EKU, and somehow some EIU slips up in the next 2 weeks, and you have a chance to play them head to head and make the math work for you.
Because I believe, I guess your goal as a coach is for us to be a little bit better every day, and by the end of the season, we should be a lot better than we were at the beginning.
Like you said, barring injury, no question about it. The psyche of your team and staying healthy and people improve. And no, I agree. Just looks like they're getting better as well.
I forgot about that part, Coach. Coach, it was September the 1st. We went down to Memphis and got a 2017 win over the Tigers. What do you remember about that game last year?
Well, of course, the rain and the lightning and the delay. You remember missing the field goals. Remember making the field goals, and actually. Besides that, I had to rewatch the game. I guess I've watched it 3 times in the last 2 days, just preparing for this week. And didn't play exceptionally well. I mean, even though we got the win, we had some big plays. We really did. Jason McNair, I guess Quentin Sims had a couple big ones. Derek Carr had a couple good scrambles. It kept us alive, and then they helped us. They did. When I say them, the Memphis team, the defense, I think they had 4 personal fouls. So a couple, 3 face masks and maybe unsportsmanlike or pass interference, whatever it was, and extending some drives. And that's usually a bad formula when you turn the ball over offense and you get and you have penalties on defense to extend drives. That's a formula
We've
for
been there.
Yeah, it's a formula to make yourself lose. And then they fumbled the punt. Remember, as we punted it to them, I guess with 39 seconds left. And so, but now all the wins count, no matter how pretty they are, or as we talked about this past week, winning ugly.
It was an unforgettable game, though.
It was.
For many, many reasons.
It was.
One of the things I remember is how big the crowd was to start the game, and after the 3-hour delay or however long it was.
Well, anytime you go play a football team or a program that, they have 22 more scholarships than you have. I mean, there's 22 more players that they're able to bring in their program on full scholarship, not just on pieces of scholarship. And, and every kid, dreams of playing in the biggest stadiums and the biggest venue and on television and stuff. So, it was a big win for many reasons.
Tell us about this year's team and how the Memphis team this year is different from last year's team.
Yeah, nobody wants to believe me except for the people that played them, but they're significantly better. And last year, I believe they won, 3 of the last 4 of the last 5. I guess they ended up winning 4 games last year in their conference. But they moved up a conference. They moved up from the Conference USA to the American Conference. And so the teams they're playing now, they're not playing the UTEPs and the Southern Misses. All right, they're now playing the Central Floridas. Who is it? Central Florida, the Houstons.
They play Duke.
The Duke. Who else was on there?
SMU and Cincinnati.
Right. So Cincinnati. Okay, so Cincinnati's already bowl eligible. Houston's 7-1 bowl eligible. Central Florida beat Penn State and Louisville. All right, and then Middle Tennessee's already got 5 wins as well. And then Duke is bowl eligible. All right, so the first time in their school, or second time in their school history. So they've played some quality teams, and there's some close losses on there, as you see, 14-28, 15-17, 24-17, 25-15. So as you see, their defense is playing really well. They lost a tough one last Wednesday night to Cincinnati. But their defense has only given up about 368 yards a game. They play a 3-man front. They're very versatile. They blitz a lot. They're just waiting for their offense to catch up to their defense, and when they do, they're going to start winning a lot of football games.
Okay, for us, Coach, keys to the game, what do we need to see out of UT Martin?
Obviously, anytime you go on the road and you play a quality team, you've got to avoid the disaster plays. You have to avoid the big sacks, the turnovers, the special teams, just goof ups.
Some of what we saw at Boise, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. 6 turnovers, you got no chance. I mean, and then you're going to have to make some big plays. You are, whether it's your defense or your offense, and because you're not going to just line up because of the difference of the scholarship levels and the difference of the size. You're not going to just line up and go 4 12-play drives. Okay, that's not going to happen. So you're going to have to convert on a pass. You're going to have to make a guy miss. The running back is in the hole and extend a drive. And then once you get in the red zone, then when you get in the red zone, things kind of even out a little bit. Okay, it gives you such an advantage because we run the ball good enough. Maybe we can get some man coverage, and then you throw one up to Butler, or they double coverage Butler. Now there's less in the box, and then your runs are able to pop. So for us, that's the biggest thing is be able to get in that red zone and not settle for field goals and make their offense have to score points.
Okay, it's a rematch from last year's game, UT Martin at Memphis. I understand we got quite a few fans going down there for that.
Well, good. I hope so.
That is a 3:30 kickoff. We'll go on there at 3, and we'll talk to you then, Coach. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you,
Coach Jason Simpson. We'll come back with Coach Kevin McMillan next and talk UT Martin women's basketball on the UT Martin Skyhawk Sports Network.